Girl, grab your tea, sit down, because I'm about to tell you the wildest shit that ever happened to me. Like I'm whispering it across the table at 2 a.m. while we're both tipsy on wine and pure rage. Picture this. I'm 16, running away from home with $300 and a backpack because my parents were straight up trash. Drunk, gambling away my lunch money, telling me, "You're grown, figure it out." I slept in bus stations, cleaned toilets at night, cried myself to sleep in a YMCA bunk bed, and still built a whole-ass $45 million company from nothing. Nest egg, my baby. Forbes cover, Silicon Valley investors begging, the whole glow up. Fast forward to last year. I'm literally about to sign a $12 million deal, pen in hand, smiling like I made it. My assistant calls. "Eve, your parents are here. They say it's been a long time." I thought she was joking. I hadn't seen those people in 33 years. Door swings open. There they are. Laura and Frank. Fresh dye jobs, fake designer bags, looking like they just stepped out of a bad Lifetime movie, with a shark lawyer standing right behind them. Mom smiles that same snake smile she used to give me right before a beating and goes, "Hey, baby girl, you did good, real good. Now it's our turn to retire. Hand over the keys to the company, or by Monday, the whole internet is gonna know the founder of Nest Egg is a heartless little girl who abandoned her poor, sick parents and left us to die in the streets." Then she pulls out a flash drive and plays a deep fake video of me saying, "I hate poor people. They don't deserve help." My hand literally started shaking on the table. These two ghosts from my worst nightmares just walked back into my life after 33 years of silence, with receipts, lawyers, and a plan to burn everything I built to the ground unless I gave them the whole damn kingdom. Girl, I wanted to scream, cry, throw up all at once. Sit closer. This story is about to get ugly, twisted, and so damn satisfying, you're gonna need a refill. Ready? Said, hand over the keys or we burn it all down. Told by your girl Eve, 54, Brooklyn, still fine, still fighting. Still spilling every damn thing like we're the only two people in the world. Girl, grab your wine, lock the door, turn the lights low, because I'm about to take you on the wildest ride of my life, and I'm not holding nothing back. Let me take you all the way back. Back before the Forbes covers, before the penthouse view of Manhattan, before strangers were calling me queen and investors were begging to throw money at me. Back when I was just Eve Thompson from the east side of Atlanta, 16 years old, holes in my sneakers, bruises on my arms I had to hide with long sleeves in 90-degree heat. I ran away on a Tuesday night in July 1991. Mom, Laura, was passed out on the couch with a bottle of Seagram's between her thighs. Lipstick smeared, TV still blaring some infomercial. Dad Frank was in the kitchen screaming at the Falcons for blowing another fourth cue. Slamming his fist so hard the cabinet shook. I'd just come home from my shift at Church's Chicken, still smelling like fryer grease and broken dreams, and there it was on the table. The envelope where I kept my college fund. Empty. Ripped open like a gutted fish. That was the third time they'd stolen every penny I'd saved. I stood in that doorway, apron still tied around my waist, and something inside me just snapped, clean in half. I whispered to the universe, if I stay one more night, I die here. So I went to my room, stuffed 3 pairs of panties, my social security card, the $300 I'd hidden inside a tampon box. They never looked there. And I walked out that screen door at 2:17 a.m. without even closing it behind me. I slept on a bench at the Greyhound station that night, backpack as a pillow. Crying so hard the security guard asked if I needed a social worker. I told him, I just need the 6 a.m. bus to anywhere but here. That was the last time I saw Laura and Frank Thompson for 33 years. Fast forward through the ugly stuff real quick. We'll circle back to the pain when we need to, I promise. Slept in shelters, cleaned offices at 3 a.m., mopped floors at Waffle House to pay for community college. Transferred to Georgia State Night School, graduated top of my class with $87,000 in student debt. And a dream nobody believed in except me. I'm 27. Living in a 250 square foot studio in Midtown Atlanta that smelled like old curry and broken dreams. I build this little app on nights and weekends called Nest Egg. Nothing fancy, just a cute cartoon bird that screamed at you when you were about to blow your rent money on shoes or Uber Eats. I thought maybe 500 people would download it. 6 months later, 2 million downloads. 2 years later, VCs sliding into my DMs like thirsty dudes at Magic City on a Friday night. By 2024, Nest Egg is valued at $45 million. 87 employees who call me Mama Eve behind my back. Offices in Midtown Atlanta with my name in gold on the damn door. I'm on planes more than I'm in my own bed. I bought my first real home, a brownstone in Harlem with original crown molding and a garden I actually keep alive. I made it, baby. I really fucking made it. And then, Monday, October 14th, 2024. I'm in the boardroom, gold Mont Blanc pen in my hand, about to sign a $12 million Series C extension that would push us over unicorn status. My assistant Maya knocks once and opens the door just enough to whisper, "Eve, your parents are in reception. They say it's urgent." I laugh out loud because Maya's new. She doesn't know I don't have parents. I walk out there thinking it's some kind of prank or maybe a charity case. And there they are. Laura, 68 years old, fresh sew-in. Chanel bag I know is fake because the C's are off by 2 millimeters. Lips injected to hell, nails long enough to open mail. Frank, 71, beer gut fighting the buttons on a blazer 2 sizes too small. Hair dyed so black it's purple under the lobby lights. Smelling like cheap cologne and worse decisions. They both open their arms like we're at a family reunion. Mom sings out, "There's my baby girl. Look at you, all grown up and rich." I swear to God the pen in my hand started shaking. I managed to croak, "What the hell are y'all doing here?" Dad chuckles like we're old drinking buddies. "We heard our daughter's a big deal now. Thought it was time to come see how you're doing." Mom steps closer, voice dripping that fake sweet syrup I grew up drowning in. "Eve, baby, you did good, real good. Now Mama and Daddy are ready to retire. We want the keys to the company, a nice house in Buckhead, and a monthly allowance. Say $50K to start. Oh, and a new Escalade. Black." I thought I was being punked. I looked around for cameras. Then the lawyer behind them, some slick white dude in a $4,000 suit, with a smile sharp enough to cut glass, hands me a thick manila folder. Inside, a cease and desist, claiming I've abandoned my elderly parents under Georgia's filial responsibility law. A draft press release titled, "Tech Millionaire Leaves Parents Destitute." Ready to go out to CNN, Fox, The Shade Room, everybody. Screenshots of Facebook Marketplace posts selling tell-all book. My Daughter the Millionaire Who Left Us to Die. A scheduled CNN interview for Friday titled, "The Dark Side of the American Dream." when success means abandoning family. And the absolute worst, a deepfake video ready to drop on TikTok at 8 p.m. tonight. Me, crystal clear, saying, "Poor people stay poor because they're lazy. I hate them. They don't deserve help. That's why I left my own parents in the gutter. My voice, my face, my exact hand gestures. Perfect. Dot. $45 million. 15 years of blood, 16-hour days. Therapy I still pay for. And these two ghosts from my nightmares just threatened to burn it all down in one weekend if I didn't hand over everything I built." Girl, I wanted to scream until my throat bled. Instead, I looked them dead in the eyes and said the sentence that started the war. "Get the fuck out of my building before I have security drag you out." That was Monday. By Friday, the internet was calling me the cruelest daughter in America. And that's when the real fight began. They didn't leave quietly. Security had to physically escort them out while Mom was screaming loud enough for the whole lobby to hear. This is elder abuse. My own daughter is throwing her sick parents into the street. Frank was fake crying into a handkerchief like he was auditioning for a Tyler Perry movie. By the time the doors closed behind them, half the office was staring at me like I'd just murdered somebody. Maya, sweet little Maya, who still believes in people, asked, "Eve, is any of that true?" I couldn't even answer her. I just walked back to my office, locked the door, and sat on the floor with my back against the desk, shaking so hard my teeth were chattering. Because I knew this wasn't a shakedown. This was war, and they had weapons I never saw coming. Tuesday morning, 6:03 a.m. My phone starts blowing up. The deepfake is live. Hashtag Eve Thompson is trash is trending #3 worldwide. The Shade Room, baller alert. Every gossip blog on earth is running the headline, "Tech millionaire hates poor people and abandoned her parents." Comments were brutal. "She belongs in hell. Cancel this evil B. Hope her company crashes and she ends up homeless like she wants us to be." By 9 a.m., 3 investors had already emailed, "We need to discuss reputational risk." By noon, 2 board members asked for an emergency call. By 3 p.m., the CNN producer who was supposed to do a feel-good segment on Black women in tech called to cancel. I was bleeding money, credibility, and 15 years of reputation in real time. I called the only person I trust with my life, my best friend from Howard Law, Aisha Carter, who's now a federal judge in D.C. I was crying so hard she could barely understand me. "Eve, breathe. Tell me everything." I told her. She was quiet for a long second, then said the words that saved me. "Virl, they just declared war on the wrong bitch. Pack a bag. You're coming to DC tonight. We're ending this." That night, I flew first class incognito, hoodie up, sunglasses on, heart pounding the whole flight. Aisha met me at Reagan National, with her driver and a bottle of Henny in the back seat. She hugged me so hard, I finally broke down and ugly cried for the first time since I was 16. She said, "First rule of war, know your enemy." We're about to dig up every skeleton they ever buried. And dig we did. Wednesday morning, we hired the nastiest private investigator in the Southeast, Marcus No Mercy Okeke. I gave him 1 week and an unlimited budget. By Friday night, he sent me a zip file titled Thompson Family Reunion from Hell. Inside were things that made my blood run cold and then boil. Mom and Dad never stopped gambling. They owe 3 different casinos over $400,000 combined in 2015. Frank took out a $5 million life insurance policy on himself, with me listed as the sole beneficiary. He's now claiming I stole the premiums. Laura secretly bought 0.01% of Nest Egg in 2012 through a shell company when we were still private. She's claiming co-founder status. And the nuclear bomb, they have a secret son. My half-brother, born 1997. Name, Malik Thompson, 28 years old, attorney. He's the one who wrote the filial responsibility lawsuit. I sat there staring at the screen, feeling every year of my life flash before my eyes. They didn't just want money. They wanted to own me. Again. Saturday, Aisha and I sat in her kitchen with Marcus, 2 bottles of wine, and a whiteboard that looked like a serial killer wall. We mapped every move. Then Aisha said the sentence that changed everything. Eve, when's the last time you went back to your grandmother's house? Grandma Ruth died when I was 12, left me a little plot of land in rural Georgia and a safe deposit key I was supposed to open when I turned 21. I never did. Too painful. I whispered, I still have the key. Aisha smiled like the devil just offered her a deal. Road trip. Sunday morning, we drove 3 hours south to the old property. The house was gone, burned down years ago, but the bank was still there, hidden behind the First Baptist Church. I opened the box with hands shaking, worse than when I ran away. Inside was a single envelope addressed to me in Grandma's handwriting. Inside that envelope, the original deed to 400 acres of land that's now worth $18 million because a highway's coming through. A handwritten letter that said, Eve baby, if your mama ever tries to take what's yours, you fight with everything you got. This land is your birthright. Never sell, never bow. And most importantly, a second life insurance policy on Frank, taken out by Grandma Ruth in 1989, $10 million, beneficiary Evelyn Marie Thompson, only, payable on demand. Never claimed. I sat on the floor of that bank and cried like a baby. Because Grandma knew. She always knew. Monday morning, 8 a.m. sharp, I walked into my office like I owned the world, because now I really did. I called an emergency all hands. 87 employees packed the room, looking scared. I stood up and said, Family, some ugly lies are being told about me right now. In the next 48 hours, the truth is coming out, and it's going to be loud. Anyone who wants to jump ship, I'll write you a glowing recommendation and a severance package today. Anyone who stays, we ride together. Not one person left. Tuesday, 9 a.m. I held a press conference on the steps of Nest Egg HQ. Cameras everywhere. Phones live streaming. The whole world watching. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just told the truth. Every ugly, painful detail. From the night I ran away at 16, to the deep fake, to the filial responsibility lawsuit, to the secret brother I never knew I had. Then I dropped the bombs. I played the voicemail Laura left Malik 2 days ago. If Eve doesn't sign by Friday, we release the video and sue her for everything. She'll be broke and canceled by Christmas. Then we retire in peace. I showed the original insurance policy from Grandma. I showed the land deed. I showed the shell company purchase of 0.01%. That was done with embezzled church funds. Turns out Mom had been skimming from the usher board for years. And finally, I looked straight into the cameras and said, I built this company with my own 2 hands after surviving a childhood no child should ever have. I don't owe my past a future. Today, I'm filing charges for extortion, fraud, forgery, and defamation. And to Laura and Frank Thompson, you taught me how to survive. Now watch me teach you how to lose. The internet flipped in 60 seconds. Hashtag Eve was right went from 0 to 3 million posts in an hour. The deep fake got taken down everywhere. Investors called back apologizing. CNN offered me a primetime special. Wednesday morning, the police knocked on my parents' motel door in College Park. They were arrested in bathrobes. Malik, my secret brother, law license suspended pending investigation. Thursday, the judge, Aisha's old study buddy, granted an emergency injunction, freezing every asset they'd ever touched. Friday, I bought Grandma's land back from the state for pennies on the dollar and announced the Ruth Thompson Foundation, $20 million in grants for runaway teens and domestic violence survivors. 6 months later, Nest Egg went public at a $1.2 billion valuation. I bought the building my parents got arrested in and turned it into a shelter called Second Chances. Mom and Frank are in federal prison for wire fraud and extortion. Malik, working at a car wash in Marietta. License gone forever. And me? I'm sitting in my cafe in Brooklyn right now, telling you this story over cardamom lattes and worn pound cake, while women cry and cheer around me. Because baby, sometimes the monsters you run from at 16 come back wearing designer clothes when you're 54. But this time, I was ready. And I didn't just win. I rewrote the whole damn ending. Now, tell me, sis, what monsters are knocking on your door? Because I got a spare chair, hot coffee, and a whole lot of fight left. Love you forever, Eve.